magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future. Transformers Slag Podcast.
What's up, everybody? How we all doing this Saturday night? It's the Transformers Slag Podcast Center live stream main event. I'm your host, Protoman. I'm the face that runs this place. I'm the voice you hear Monday to Friday, although you didn't really hear me Monday to Friday because we just came back from easily the biggest independent Transformer convention I've ever been at. TFcon's been running the USA shows for about, I want to say almost 10 years now. They started in 2016. Oh, 15. Oh, so it hasn't been 10 years. 2015 was the very first TFcon USA in Chicago. And I always say that the West Coast shows are the best coast shows. And we had easily the biggest one yet. It was massive. I firmly believe that they've outgrown the space in LA and they're going to have to go to somewhere else, with Burbank, technically Burbank. But yeah, how we all doing? My voice is a little gone. When you go 3 days straight of talking with people and business meetings and shaking hands and 12-hour travel days, we'll get into that. Plenty of flight delays, and it was a long day. Needless to say, how we all doing? And we are back. We're going to be back to our regular schedule of Monday to Friday segments, updating you with the news, all kinds of great stuff. We got some cool stuff that we picked up at TFcon, gifts that we got from fans that came by. We're going to cover a bunch of things today. And take some super chats, of course, too. If I'm not as upbeat as usual, it's just because we'll get into it. It was a long week. Anyone that was there that weekend knows how exhausting it was. A lot of people were wondering, where was Proto Man in the evenings? It's like I was hanging out with people, and then I was like trying to get sleep because I had a 4 a.m. flight I had to hit, and I did not sleep all of Sunday into Monday. But yeah, who do we got in the chat today? Got Rudy Mack. What's up, Rudy? Young from Montreal. What's up, Young? We got Bruticus 42. Clyde, how we all doing? Prince of Phalanx, one of my patrons. Patrick Brown, Horned Owl. Joshua's here. Autovolt is one of my patrons. Cridge McCringle, patron and YouTube member. Double dipping, which is always good. Will Murphy, James Hopkins. I want to make sure I'm not missing one. T-Formers 2002, another person that was also at TFCon that weekend, along with Cringe. Wonder if Italian Hoagie is here too. Who else? Twins Corner, patrons, regulars at TFcon Toronto. Bigum is here. Ashnut is here. More people are filing in. Yeah. Oh, we'll talk about High Score Con later. We'll talk about the schedule now that TFCon LA is behind us. Aaron Archer is here too. Decepticon for Life is here. Everyone's rolling in. It's going to be a good one. So, first we'll cover the news, and then we'll, the scant news that we got. I just hit the microphone twice. That shows how much I'm out of it today. Woo. We'll cover some of the news, and then we'll cover some TFCon recap, some cool stuff that we got, gifts from people. We'll cover some future dates and stuff that are going to be happening in the next coming weeks. Some important stuff here and there. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, there's some public stuff that I'm working on that kind of leaked out a little bit, but I don't want to talk too much about it until I get, it's out there. If you look for it, it's out there in the leaked background stuff. But until I get the okay from the official people, I didn't see nothing. So you'll have to wait for that. I thought I was going to talk about it this weekend, but marketing said just wait for now. But yeah. So let's jump into it. Fawnhart, how you doing? Oscar, a lot of good people coming in. So let's first cover some of the news that we got. Autovolt. So first we had a whole bunch of pre-orders that dropped. A lot of key ones. I don't know if any of these are available still. It's obviously been a couple days since. I think some of the partner websites might still have their pre-orders up, but the Nova Prime, the Nacelle, That snarl, people need to get on that because that's going to like honestly out of everything here, the DevCon and that snarl are going to be the ones that I guarantee 5 years from now, bearing them do reissues of those again. Those are going to be the ones that are going to be the pricey items in the future. Nacelle, yeah, secret completist, and the noise maze could potentially, or the sideways potentially could get reissues at some point. But those ones definitely. So again, that's the whole point. Again, I don't want to blow smoke up my butt, but that's why you have to follow the podcast because when I talk about these in the moment during the week, try to get in on those opportunities. I'll always try to give you the best financial guide on if it's worth it to get them or not. I mean, Nova Prime is one of those either you like the character or you don't, but it's also something I could see them revisiting again and again just as a trademark. It's already been done once before through fun publications. So, but stuff like Snarl and DevCon, get them if you can, man. Get them if you can, because those ones are going to be headaches later. I just know it, especially the Snarl. Like even though the MSRP right now is a leader and people are a little, ugh, but I mean, secondary market, this guy's going to probably hit $200 in like a couple of years if they don't reissue it again. And they're good with that. Don't get me wrong. Hasbro's really good with paying attention to the secondary market and reissuing stuff accordingly. And I know people sometimes go, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? For them to react to the secondary market, schedule it with the factories, and put it out there takes sometimes 6 to 7 months. And then for it to be produced and then shipped out might take another, you know, 6 to 7 to 8 months. That's why sometimes the ship out dates for these are a little crazy, but it is what it is. So just keep an eye out for those. Again, don't miss your opportunities. And, don't fall for the scalpers. Check out the individual segments to know just how crazy the prices were on some of these just a few weeks ago before these announcements. By the way, I'm going to be drinking a lot of water. I am dehydrated as hell from the past couple of weeks. I've been just trying to I've been sleeping like 12-hour days. It's been nuts. Next up, we also have some updates. So we had the Transformers Target Thursdays that Target is going to be doing. And every Thursday, there's going to be some kind of pre-order dropping. Obviously, the first one was that DevCon just this past Transformer Thursday. Next Thursday, the one coming up, March 20th, 2025, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, will be the pre-orders for the Studio Series Perceptor, along with Ratbat and Ramhorn, recreating that iconic scene from the 86 movie with Blaster. And then the following Thursday will be on March 27th, 2025 at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The pre-orders will drop for that Transformers Devastation, Ground Trooper, Air Trooper, Decepticon Generics 2-pack. So check those out when those drop. A lot of good stuff going on there. So pick from those if you will. The Perceptor one interests me only because it's slightly better paint scheme and you get the two little cassette bots, and I don't know why the Perceptor I got has a funky leg from the original Studio Series, so we'll see what happens with that one. Ashnud, I was shocked about Nova. I thought everyone hated that mold, so I was holding out for a sale. Well, you know what? It's a classic case of sometimes something is not popular, and thus it doesn't get bought a lot, and then it goes on clearance, and then it goes for crazy money for whatever reason because it's the only version of that character. Look up Lancer, you know, Look up, not Signal Flare. What was the green one? But like some of those Amazon exclusives that no one cared about, now they have crazy secondary market prices, you know? So, it's just how it is. Sometimes stuff that's on clearance, it's on clearance because it didn't do well. And because it didn't do well, when it's out of clearance and gone completely and retired, there's not much of a population. Green light, thank you. There's not much of a population afterwards. So when you do want it, it's either in private collections of hardcore collectors or, the scant few that bought it to resell, but they didn't buy it to resell because they didn't think it would be popular. They didn't buy it on clearance because they didn't think it would be popular. Always happens. Always happens. Story as old as time. I can look as far back as like the Ultra Magnus Skywarp 2-pack from Classics that was a Target exclusive. That was on like, and this goes back to like 2006. That was on like crazy clearance, $10 each for two Voyager, well, one Deluxe and one Voyager class. No one wanted it. And then, of course, complete your Seekers. So you needed that Skywarp. And then Cities Commander became a thing with third parties, so people wanted that Ultra Magnus. And all of a sudden, this clearance 2-pack that nobody wanted from Target ended up being like $100 easily per figure. So $200 for a mint in box one. Even me, myself, I got those individual guys individually way more than those $10 because of it. But that's how the world works. Next up, we got the Squeezling Sidekicks, continuing a little bit of what Todd McFarlane started with those little page punchers, and now we have Squeezlings getting in on the game, also taking IDW comics and putting them with their Squeezling figures. Some good reprints here. The Don Figueroa issue #1 of the ongoing. Fun book. Art is interesting. The Bumblebee ongoing is pretty good. The Beast Wars book is really good. And the others, serviceable books that are kind of in the middle of the road of storytelling. So you might be a little confused with what you're reading. But hey, to get a little figure with a comic for, under $10, I mean, I'm always for that. Maybe because I'm a big comic reader and I always want people to still read comics and use that as a medium for storytelling, even though it's a difficult medium to survive in this modern day and age where people, I almost feel like today, with today's modern day and age, people rather watch on YouTube someone else reading a comic. That's kind of a weird irony. But yeah, these have been showing up in Family Dollar, Dollar Tree, Five Below, I believe was another one someone listed. So check it out. Very cool. And the Squeezlings ain't too bad. I think here, let me grab the individual. I have the individual carded Cheetor from a while back because hey, Beast Wars. And I mean, those are the 6 that are available there. They had carded versions, they had box sets, and now they're taking those molds. And yeah, now putting them with a comic. So can't complain about that. Pretty cool. Then we got some listings of Transformers Earthspark. Pretty much the tail end of the line is more gimmick-based kind of items. So the continuation of their Smash and Change line, pretty much the Smash Changers, but smaller. So we had the Optimus, the Bumblebee, the Thrash, and the Megatron, and now we have listings for a Jawbreaker, the Terran, Dinosaur, and the other Terran of Twitch, the little helicopter drone fembot. So those are also going to be getting the Smash Changer kind of gimmick. Again, do we as hardcore fans care about this? Not really. It's not something that speaks to us, but at the end of the day, these are coming, and these are what I always call like the signs of the end of the line. Like this is the end of it. They're just kind of putting out some of the gimmick-based stuff that are also going to be probably clogging a lot of the Asian shelving markets for their market, for their numbers of 4.4 billion people. And that'll be it. That'll be it. T-Formers 2000 Earthspark still has some episodes coming, right? Well, the little birdie on my shoulder says there's still another block of episodes for Paramount Plus, and then there's going to be an end of series TV special, very similar to what they did with Cyberverse and Transformers Prime before that with Beast Hunters. So that's kind of how that's going to be. And Cyber World is really going to kind of be its own thing on the side. It's going to kind of be like, I don't want to say like Rescue Bots because then people will make that parallel, but it's going to be like what Rescue Bots was, where it was always something that was happening on the other side of it. What's up, Talib? What's up, Transformatics? Welcome, welcome. Didn't see you pop in. But yeah, so these are a thing. Check it out. Little update too on Liokaiser. We're 9 days away from the end of the backing. We still don't have the tier 3 yet. We're at 17,300, so we're not too far away. We're pretty much at like 700 more backers until we get to that because you need to have 18 for that for the stand, which I mean, I'll be honest with you, if we don't get the stand, it's not going to kill me. It's not, but at the same time, I know that when they make these prices, they factor in the stand and everything with that. So if I'm paying that much, you better give me the stand. So I could then turn around and sell that stand individually for $20 on eBay and get a mild discount on my purchase. But you know how I feel about that. At the end of the day, that amount of stand in plastic could have been one Micromaster. I rather that, but it is what it is. So again, we're about 700 away from the 18,000, but more importantly, we are 9 days away from it ending. I'm pretty sure there's going to be plenty of people backing it in the final 48 hours, which historically has been the case with all the other ones. So we will see what happens, but it's looking good. Again, I kind of still stand by the pricing and the choice of, release, but that's just how it is. And, you know, hopefully we don't get too much of that. So we shall see. We shall see. And let's talk about upcoming shows. So first up, TFcon Toronto, which is the next TFcon now that TFcon LA is behind us. TFcon Toronto is going to be July 11th to the 13th, 2025. Aaron will be there. For those that didn't pick up or would have liked to get the TFcon LA exclusive of the G1 Mon bots, the red and blue, I did sell out most of them at the show. I think I have about 7 left, but I made a promise when I did these back in Baltimore, they would be a triforce of shows, meaning they will be at TFcon East, which is Baltimore, TFcon West, which was LA, and TFcon Prime, aka Toronto, aka Canada. So there will be a small print run of these for Toronto. So do not buy these from any scalpers online. If you will be in Toronto, they will be available there too. I'm aiming for 30 units, maybe, because I have 5 left over. Actually, I have 4 left over. So, I'll make another 25 or so. And yeah, if you want to pick it up, it will be at TFCon Toronto, and Aaron will be there too. And that will be that. So check that out. Then after that, we have TFCon Chicago, which is still a while ways from now. San Diego Comic Con, High Score Con in Montreal, which I'll be at. A whole bunch of stuff. A whole bunch of stuff. We'll get into more of that when we get into just the talk of the later of the day. Let's talk some sponsor stuff because they were also at TFCon. Symbiote Studios. Now, where's my little paper thing here? So Symbiote Studios was at TFCon. They were handing out these beautiful little postcards here. And there's their pin of their Catnip Bravo Prime. There's Catnip. So they were at the TFCon. They absolutely crushed it that weekend. Needless to say, there's almost nothing left of their inventory. They sold out of practically almost everything. If you go to their website right now, I think only the Slag, the Sludge, and maybe the Hot Rod is left. And the only reason why those are left is because those were some of the newer inventory that they made more of. So they just have some of those left. But I think everything else is sold out. Even the pins, some of the t-shirts are still left. They did insanely well at the show. Everyone was walking around with their stuff. So we're going to have to update this list because a lot of stuff got sold out. Even at the show, there was a little preview. They had a limited run of one of their upcoming items. So if you were lucky to pick it up that weekend, they had 20 units of their Starscream Catnip Bravo. That sold out extremely fast. I remember seeing the Catnip Bravo sold out, the Optimus sold out, the Hound sold out, the Power Rangers, I think, was left over, the Red Ranger, but everything was selling quickly, and they were carrying it that weekend. I was seeing people with the Rumble and Frenzy. So congrats to Symbiote. They absolutely crushed it at the show. They did very well. Again, $29.99 for a massive plush when your competition is asking $50, $60. Yeah, you're going to do good. You're going to do good. I think they were the only people selling t-shirts too. So good stuff. And again, all their other brands too. They're all available on the website also. So check that out. Very, very good. And then of course, Aaron Archer, Toy Armada. Be sure to check that out. Aaron also did very well at the show. Sold some of those nice premium paintings there. I hope okay, I know that he sold a Cybertronian one. Then he sold another one for 600. But either way, I think these ones are still available on the website. Aaron, correct me if I'm wrong. But Aaron did very well too. A lot of really good stuff. Here's some new ones that were added to the website. So if you're interested, here's some new Posca paintings that were put on the website today, archermonster.com. /shop. Sold out of volume 2 of the art book. So if you missed your chance, that was that. Volume 1 might get a reprint, Aaron said, with a new cover. But he sold the tidal wave. Okay, that's why I wasn't too sure which one it was. I know that the Cybertronian landscape one got sold. That one we hung above the booth, but I don't remember. I do. A tidal wave is gone. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Aaron. So, but there is some left. Go check it out on the website. But again, volume 2 is sold out. Sold out at the show. Volume 3, there is some copies left. Get it while you can. Once again, if it's sold out, you're gonna have to look at the secondary market for art books. And don't get me started with how much people charge for art books. Don't even get me started. So check those out. Cheetor's looking good. You should get that Cheetor. I'm surprised no one got that Cheetor yet. That's a good looking one. But really good stuff. Check them out, yo. All the beautiful paintings and all the goodness. Okay, so I guess that one was that one the one that was near me? I don't remember. I don't remember. It was a busy weekend. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. And of course, check out also Bin Studios with their lovely Unicron upgrade set. Turn 2 Unicrons into one. You could get the ring set, you could get the wing set. Choose how you want to display. It's going to look fantabulous. So then, that's it more or less for news and stuff and sponsorship. I'm still a little, but we're not done here. But again, Symbiote did fantastic at the show. Very, very cool. Let's get into gifts and all kinds of stuff that we got from people. I probably should cover his info. Hung out with Aaron and Marty Eisenberg. Marty gave me his business card. I like that. It has Derek's art on there from back in the day. That's just some of the other stuff there. These came from the fella who runs Robo Toy Fest. He gave me a bunch of these pins here and patches. A whole bunch of this one's kind of cool though. That reminds me of Gats Blocker from Diaclone. I wouldn't be surprised if that's done on purpose. Looks very, very familiar to it. But gave me a whole bunch of pins and stuff and everything. And the Mad Hoss one. I think this didn't come from. This came from someone else. I think that came from Edgar. I'm not too sure. I probably should have put a post-it on that one, but I was already kind of all over the place. These came from Cringe McCringle. Hooked me up with these two bad boys. Very happy about that. The Track Fleet Optimus and the Vanilla Bumblebee. So the search continues. Got to track down the Ultra Magnus and I guess those movie ones. Those movie ones don't speak to me as much. Wasn't as interested. Prime is sold. Oh, well, there you go. Someone bought the Prime. I think it was available on the website when I did the slide this morning, but evidently not. Was it you, T-Formers? I keep forgetting. I should have put a post-it. So T-Formers gave me the Hot Wheels. Okay. I don't know. It was all early, and I couldn't remember. I should have. I always want to put post-its on stuff. That was actually T-Formers. I got it from Cringe, but it came from T-Formers, correct? Something like that. I remember that's where my brain goes with that. So T-Formers got me the delicious Vroom Vrooms, especially the little Bumblebee there. That's really cool. This is the tough one. This is the one, in my opinion, that's a headache. Those damn Hot Wheels people. You know what's funny? So 2 weeks ago when we did the live stream and we were talking about the Hot Wheels Transformers, and then it all dawned on all of us, especially me, how much of a headache it's going to be because of the Hot Wheels collectors. The Hot Wheels collectors were leaving quite nasty comments in the video. Um, and I was just trolling them like crazy because I'm a terrible human being, but it is what it is. I pretty much told them I was like, they're probably going to leave negative comments again, but I don't care because they're not part of our community. But I pretty much said to them, I was like, well, then you should probably tell your friends that you're not happy about it. Oh, wait, what friends? So that's something nasty like that. But I didn't care because they make our lives a headache, to say the least. James has not found. I've yet to find any. James, I'm in the same boat as you. I found the gold bumblebee totally by accident, and I'm firmly convinced the only reason why I found the gold bumblebee was I think someone hid it, and then a Walmart employee put it back because it was like front and center. Like that thing would have been gone in 5 seconds. So luckily, T Formers hooked me up with those two, saved me the trouble. Uh, there we go. Again, I am still out of it. I am still out of it. I don't remember everything from that weekend. And then we lost an hour too because of daylight savings. That didn't help either. But yeah, what else did I get? So this is kind of cool. On the way back, um, I hit a Walmart just quickly the following day, just to do some quick, toy hunting and groceries, and I found this. Oh snap! Swapticons. So this is probably the only Swapticon I'm really gonna get at full price. Although this wasn't too bad. This was $10 Canadian. So I'm pretty sure this is like cheaper American, maybe 7.99. Just got it for this bad boy right here. Look how ugly those things are though. Look at that head. Good lord. Anyways, so found this guy, so it's joining the hot rod collection. There's that. Uh Edgar picked this up for me from the Derek Wyatt collection. The Bakon 2009, yeah, 2009, was it 2009? 2009, 2006, 2006. Bakon 2006 Alpha Trion. Got that. Very cool. Um, Picked this up from Arthur's Table. If you guys look at my microphone, sometimes I'll have a Microman guy sticking on there. So I always like Microman guys if I could get them cheap. So Arthur had it at 7,000 yen, one of our Japanese sellers, which another reason why do you go to TFcon West Coast shows like LA or whatever? Japanese dealers. Arthur had a table. He had a whole bunch of nice cheapy Japanese stuff. 700 yen, $5 for a nice Microman dude carded. This thing is, geez, 1999, 26 years old. I got it for $5 carded. Maybe because I'm the only weirdo that likes the Microman Magna stuff, but that was a good find. Got this from Edgar. Nice Presento Evo Fusion. Good old detritus, excuse me. Shows how tired I am today. Nice detritus. Thank you, Edgar, for that. And then my big purchase of the weekend that I did not get until literally the final hours of the show. Usually I like to get myself one big item, something cool, something I can't normally get on eBay without paying outlandish prices. Because a lot of times with these kind of items, like what I'm going to show you, usually I'm pretty sure if you look on eBay right now, I haven't checked, but this probably is $500 to $700 this item boxed easily. And it's not worth that. It's just that's what happens when you get to some of these vintage items. A 1982 Machine Robo GoBots Battle Base Minton box. I got it for $200 from again Arthur's Table. Very cool. Battle Base was this little rolling battle station that transforms into a giant playset for your GoBots, or in this case, Machine Robo. I've been eyeing this item, no joke, for probably 15 years, maybe more than that. I would go to multiple TFcon West Coast shows, and there'd be different people that would usually have it, and they'd ask like $1,000, $500. So that was my big purchase of the weekend. $200 from Arthur. Again, thank you, Arthur. Amazing score. Very, very cool. Again, good old Bandai Machine Robo GoBot stuff. Very awesome. I'll take some nice photos of this. I'll crack it open. The good thing with this is you don't need to apply stickers. Like you're not damaging it when you're opening it out of the box. The box could be in better condition. It's got a little tear here, but I'll survive because the playset's in there. So that's all that matters. So I don't know. I think this, like, honestly, if you look on eBay right now, it's probably like 400, 500, $600, something like that. Because it's just one of those items. There's not many of them. And they did a reissue of it, like I think in 84, 85, and it's in a different box, but even that one goes for like 500, $600. This is the original one, the first print. So that was kind of like my only purchase. Again, think about it, right? Like I got like Microman and GoBots, which it shows like, what am I missing at this point? So it's always the weird stuff. It's always the weird stuff. Um, and the last thing that I got, because Dramatic just reminded me. So local Walmarts here in Montreal have been doing a lot of crazy clearance, and I managed to get myself a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful little bomb burst here for $7 Canadian, which is about $5 American. So I could get myself a nice little bomb burst. I believe those were like $10 originally, so 50% off. Happy with that. Picked him up. Everything else was liquidated. I was too late to the game. People just ate up all the inventory. So, but I mean, if you were at TFcon, man, between Artfire's booth, people who know Artfire, he has everything, everyone's individual holy grail all in one table. Just because it's Artfire's booth, it is priced right up to the eBay price. You're pretty much just saving on shipping. So it is what it is. But you know, that was it more or less. Didn't get much. I think that's it. I don't think I got anything else. But again, it was more just it was just more of these one of these things where I just like doing those shows just to kind of meet the fans, get a little business done, hang out with Aaron, hang out with other creators. Marty Eisenberg was there, which was very cool. Uh, who else was there? Casey Collar, Alex was there, who's always good to see. I see him multiple times a year, but it's always good to see him. Um, I know I'm forgetting people. I'm so out of it still. The crazy thing is Saturday going into Sunday, we lost an hour. Like, it sprung ahead, as they call it. So we lost an hour with that. And then I had a flight Monday morning at 4 a.m. So my bright idea was instead of trying to get some sleep and then waking up, my roommates and leaving, I'm just going to pack up everything and then literally power through the rest of the night till 4 a.m. to catch my flight. And I was waiting in the lobby at 2 a.m. and I was hanging out with, I think TJ Omega was there and I think one or two other dudes. And we just kind of talked because they were still awake for some ungodly. They had you guys, I don't know why the hell you guys were awake. I had a plane to flight to catch, but I just powered through it. I didn't get any sleep, went on the plane, didn't sleep on the plane because we had delays and everything. Me, Jaws D, Larry, John, the whole TFcon crew. We all had the same flight going back home. And so we all didn't sleep and then we had delays, 2 hour delay, waited at the airport. The airport to apologize gave us a $15 voucher to get some food. So we got some food at least, which $15 in the airport barely gets you a croissant, you know? Um, and what else? What else? What else? And I watched the Little Mermaid movie, the live action one, uh, on the delayed flight because there was nothing really to watch. Never saw that one. Um, did I manage to get any autographs? Yes, I did actually. Sheesh, I should have brought those. Those are already packed away. Um, I got Jeff Bennett, who's the voice of Johnny Bravo, but he's also the voice of a bunch of animated characters. So I got one litho that's all Johnny Bravo stuff because I loved Johnny Bravo since high school. Like before there was memes, there was Johnny Bravo, and we used to say very inappropriate things in high school in the 90s because of Mr. Johnny Bravo, so we love him. And then I did another lithograph of like all of his characters, obviously Prowl and Grandis and stuff, and the Angry Archer. So we got all of those, got that signed. I got Frank Welker's autograph for something that you would never expect. I've gotten Frank's autograph before in the past, so it wasn't a big deal for me to get like a Megatron or something. So this time around for Frank, I wanted to get something weird. So one of my favorite obscure fighting games is Clay Fighters, which is a very weird fighting game. that is very niche. And Frank did a whole bunch of voices in that, as well as Jeff Bennett did a bunch of voices. A bunch of the guys who were there that weekend, like an indirect Clay Fighters reunion, so to speak. About, I'd have to say, 50% of the Clay Fighters cast was there. So I made a lithograph with the character select screen, and I got each of the actors to sign near their characters. For people that want to know, Frank Welker was Blob, Ichabod Clay, Lockjaw. I know I'm forgetting somebody. Jeff Bennett was, I think, Taffy. I don't remember. Again, I'm going off the top of my head here, but so got a really weird signature set there too. But it was cool. I met Tanya, aka Miko from Transformers Prime. I haven't seen her in like 16 years. So anyone that saw on my Twitter, we posted a before and after photo. She didn't age a day. I Time has been very cruel to me. You have good looking Proto Man from 2010, 2011 to, oh my God, time and to quote the Tick, gravity is a harsh mistress. So got to see her again. It was hilarious seeing her. She recognized me right away, so that was good. She's so funny. She's exactly like Miko. She wanted to take. Is my phone nearby? Actually, here, hold on. This is the photo you guys didn't see. She bought a new like thing that she puts on her phone so you could like get like better lighting or something. So she wanted to take a selfie and it looked terrible. Look how bright that was, but whatever. And there she is. She hasn't aged a day. Hasn't aged a day. Good Lord. And my white DNA, aged terribly. Where's the water? Gotta hydrate. What's up, Guillaume? I remember watching the Dragon Ball movie on the flight back from Hawaii. I would have liked to watch Evolution. You know what? I don't mind watching bad movies. I have terrible taste anyways. That's why I always say like there's the business decision and then there's what I like, and I'm very conscious of what I enjoy and what is a good business decision. I always have those two separated. She recognized me because many years ago when we met, I mean, I have kind of the same style of clothing. Like here, hold on, I have the old photo on me somewhere here. Here we go. Like that was us, popped collar. Again, there's a reason why Derek Wyatt based me on Rodimus. I had a very unique style back then. But this was before we opened the panel, the dealer room. So I went to say hi, and she right away recognized me and stuff. But I've been to a few shows that she was in, specifically in 2010, 2011, when she was doing Transformers Prime. She was doing like a tour of a lot of shows, and I was at a lot of those conventions that she was. So we saw each other a bunch of times. But then after like 2011, she went and did her thing. I went and did my thing. It's the pop collar. It never ends. Never ends. Look how high that one is. How high is that one? Is that one past the earlobe? Let's see. Let's zoom in on that. Look at that one. How close to the earlobe is that one, people? Jeez. Look at that full head of hair. Oh my goodness. And her, she didn't age a day. Good Lord. Either way, that's life. A life well lived. A life well lived. Let's put it that way. No regrets. No regrets. But yeah, good times, good smiles, everything, everything. Let's crack open the second one. It was a great show. Met a lot of great people. You know, I think the thing I enjoy the most is when people say that they like, what's up, Goober? Um, I think the thing that I like the most is when people come by and the things that they learn from the podcast, because I never want to be one of those content creators that people just watch for like entertainment. Like anyone could be entertaining. Anyone could be entertaining and anyone could be funny, but I want it that people learn stuff. I want it that they'll get something from the podcast that they'll use for the rest of their lives, some kind of nugget of knowledge or something, you know. A person could watch a toy review and go, "Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, this is great. Yeah, it's funny that I have this out actually." But you know, that's great, but it's like, you know, it doesn't stay with you after you watch it, you know. Uh it's something where, you know, I'm just glad that people learn a lot from it. I love when people say like they'll take the live stream, which is usually like 2 hours, and they say they'll turn it into like an MP4 file or an MP3 file, and then they'll put it in their car and they'll listen to it on long trips and stuff, you know. The pop collar is something that I used a lot in the early 2000s as a teenager going into my 20s. I used to always rock a pop collar because I was a arrogant, jockish kind of individual. And then that didn't stop me when I would go to BotCons between 2001 and whenever BotCon stopped in 2016. So I'd always, you know, dress like that. Damon, what's up? Shout out to Damon. And I don't have the exclusives near me because they were all upstairs. Damon was the one who did the, you know what am I talking about? I could just pop this up. Damon, who's in the chat, was the one who worked on the beautiful art for where is the slide? Come on, people. We could do this. There we go. Then I could zoom in on that. Eh. So people who are wondering, Damon did the beautiful label art on the Pokemon exclusives. So give a shout out to Damon and his stuff. Damon needs to come to a show. Damon, you have to come to the show and you could sell some beautiful prints of the art of this. Maybe Chicago, Damon? I don't expect Toronto, but maybe Chicago. Come on, Damon. You got to come to a show. Anyways, didn't want to put you on the spot, but I love you, Damon. But yeah, it's, you know, it was a great con. It was a great con. Again, you know, I'm happy for Aaron. Aaron did very well. You know, anytime one of those oil paintings, as I call them, anytime those museum level paintings sell, you know, that always made me happy. So Aaron did very well. I did very well. We both bought some cool stuff. Yeah, it was a weekend. It was a weekend going on absolutely no sleep, eating every day. We went out with Symbiote Studios, Hasbro Studios, and ages 3 and up. We went to Panda Express because the one thing with that location is there's not a lot of choices of food around there. So it is what it is. Uh, I will say this isn't official, but it is murmurings in the background. This past TFcon in LA was so big and so busy that it easily outgrew the location. If people noticed how like everything was spilling out into the hallway, and I even said it like, and I've said this before, I think Casey Collar is easily like one of the top 3 Transformer artists of all time. It's just my personal opinion. I love Casey's work. It's very clean. I know Alex hates it when I say that, but um, I love Casey's work, and it kills me that Casey was in the effing hallway and not next to us. Like, I don't deserve to be in the dealer room if Casey's not in the dealer room, you know? So, but that shows just how everything was spilling out there. There, like, we've outgrown that location. Everything was really packed. Um, there was dealers that were rejected that didn't get tables that weekend. So, needless to say, it's something where, you know, there are looking at a new, bigger location in the West Coast. You know, that's kind of the way that I see it. I can't say which one it is, but if people know, they know from the BotCon days. There is an old location that if they took that one, that's the best place they could ever be. Like that is, you know, I hope that's the case. But I will say this: we've outgrown that location. It's just it was so packed. The Saturday sold out. Like they couldn't even sell any more tickets for the Saturday. It was just too busy, too packed. I believe the reason why they sold out of the Saturday, if people were wondering why they were turned away, was because they only had so many wristbands for what would have been the legal limit of how many people could be in there, according to the fire marshal. That sold out. So it was crazy. Yeah, man. Casey was in the hallway, which was crazy. He was next to like the top loader seller, Like I was like, what is going on? Like why is like Casey's out there and I'm on the inside? Like you could have put like put RoboSen in the hallway. RoboSen had a booth. They should have been in the hallway. RoboSen doesn't like they don't need to be in the dealer room. They're just there to show off stuff, you know? So it is what it is. Damn, that went down the wrong way. Um, but yeah, not that I got sick. I know people are asking me if I got sick. It's not that I got sick. It's just I always lose my voice at these shows. And then it combined with the fact that like I had like 16-hour travel days, like 4 a.m., 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh yeah, like 16 hours easily I was flying and traveling and layovers and LA to Chicago, Chicago to Toronto, Toronto to Montreal, or sometimes, it's like it's I love the West Coast shows. They're the best, but they're also the longest amount of traveling. Like, the next like Chicago's show that's coming up, it's not going to be good as the West Coast one, but it's a 2-hour flight from Montreal. So that's easy. That's I could do that in my sleep, you know. Where's Damon? Better location always on the floor. Well, it's just I always feel that, people won't see you and your art if you're not in the walk by traffic. And yeah, to get into the dealer room, you technically have to walk by Casey's booth because he's in the hallway. But the moment they're in the dealer room, then they're just circling in the dealer room and they're not going to remember Casey was in the hallway. So I hated that, and I don't know. It's Symbiote Studios had the same problem. Like when they first applied for a table, they were told that it was sold out, and then luckily something opened up, primarily because their Symbiote Studios is an official licensor of Hasbro products, and they should be in the room. So I pushed for that. I was like, RoboSen and Symbiote Studios were the only two official representations of Transformers in that dealer room, if you think about it, in terms of product. So they had to be in there. Give it that glitz, give it that stamp of approval. So it's it's something like that. I'll take a non-super chat question because it is important and it comes up a lot. Will TFcon Toronto, Hilton, Mississauga ever become too big for the Hilton? I don't think so. We did so when BotCon ended officially in 2016, there was this like purgatory year between 2016 and 2018 where all the dealers of BotCon had nowhere to go. So they all came to TFcon Toronto. And even Aaron remembers that it was like a 2-floor show. The cool thing about the Hilton location is if you ever have a ton of dealers, it's actually could be a 2-floor convention. And there was one year where they had so many dealers that they made it a 2-floor convention. Those dealers have since alleviated and now do the USA shows. So I don't think it'll ever outgrow. I think it'll be at the Hilton permanently, bearing some kind of price discrepancy or something, because they would have to, no joke, get an extra like 60 dealers out of nowhere to then fill that second floor again. And I don't know a situation where that happens, especially in a world with tariffs and all kinds of border crossing drama. So needless to say, I don't think that'll happen anytime soon. But that Burbank location that we were just at, that's cooked, man. That was spilling out. Spilling out. A good problem to happen. It's a good problem to happen. Hey, a show that has tons of people and tons of dealers, and that only means the next time there's a West Coast show, it's going to have even more dealers and even more space and even more action. So, it's something where you know, it's something where we will definitely see what happens next year. I think that'll be an answer that'll be 100% official by the time Chicago's done in November. When is TFCon Chicago? I don't keep track anymore. November, October, something like that. I tackle these one at a time. It's at the end of this month is High Score Con in Montreal, which is my show. And then April, I don't think there's anything. May is Anime North and well, Free Comic Book Day and Anime North. And then June is something, I don't know. July is going to be TFcon Toronto and San Diego Comic Con. I think Fan Expo's somewhere in that too. And then August is going to be Otakuthon in Montreal, which is the second biggest anime convention in North America. It's huge. Actually, it's almost as big as Anime North, in all honesty, and the Texas one. Um, and then after that, I don't know, whenever TFCon Chicago is, so many shows, so much madness. Um, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Goober, I would suggest Kamen Rider Kabuto. If it's a woman watching, let's put it that way. She will like that. That's all I'm going to say. And I think personally it's one of the better Kamen Rider series. But yeah, so it was a great weekend. It was fantastic. I was just happy just to see familiar faces again. The West Coast show always brings some of the Japanese dealers that I only get to see at a West Coast show. These were the same guys that when BotCon existed. Unless BotCon was in the West Coast, they wouldn't do it. So it was nice to see Arthur. It's nice to see all of those dudes. They were great. Um, oh, here comes Butters. You gonna come join us? No, he's just chilling. Um, oh, the new BotCons in yeah, BotCon 2.0's in June. I knew I forgot something. I think Aaron's doing that one. I don't know if I'm going to be doing that one yet. I'll see how I feel. Hey, BotCon, if you want to fly me out, then that'll definitely help me with that decision financially. But we'll see how I feel. JR Mino, what's up? You know, so Tom Laney, what's up? So it's something where, I'll cross that bridge when it comes. Needless to say, summers are always very busy for cons and business and stuff. And not to mention, whenever the news becomes public of what I'm working on, that's going to then open up a whole new schedule of stuff that I don't want to talk about right now until all of that is public, because then that's signings and all kinds of other stuff. So we'll cover that. Uh, 100% by May it'll be public. That's all I've been promised. 100% by May, everyone will know everything. But that'll be exciting stuff too. Dream projects, let's put it that way, that I'm busy with. And I believe next week I have a meeting with the Otakuthon people also, so it's gonna be a busy week. It's gonna be a busy week. How is everyone else doing? How about that? You know, did you guys have a good weekend at TFCon for those who went? I'm trying to remember if I got anything else. Got the autographs. I think that was it. I don't think I got anything else. You get to see Proto Man like absolutely like it's all here. It's all I never get headaches, but it's like sometimes it's like you know, just going on like, you know, slowly trying to reset my sleep schedule and just get back into the swing of things. I'm behind on my video games. You know, I haven't been playing my daily F-Zero and stuff, and I play F-Zero online all the time. So if you ever see Proto Man and F-Zero online, F-Zero 99 on Switch, it's this dummy here. Uh, you got a sinus issue. Well, I think everyone always catches something at these shows. I gotta stop licking people's faces. Had a good weekend despite forgetting the money. That Lakers Knicks game. Yeah, it's true. Cringe went to a Lakers game. That was pretty awesome. He had good seats too. Man, you did better than all of us. But it was fun. It was very fun. It was very fun. Again, I can't stress enough, man. Like, people always ask me, should I go to a convention? What's the benefits of it? And it really has to do with your own individual goals, you know? It really has to do with your own individual goals, but I always feel if you want to be in a room with a whole bunch of people that you know 100% like the same thing you do, it's the place to be, and luckily TFcon has a East Coast, a West Coast, and a Canada one. So there's always some kind of opportunity. Yes, you're going to always have to get on a plane, but I mean, it's not that expensive when you crunch the numbers. I mean, I was working at Burger King going to BotCon in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and that was like one $500 paycheck. And yes, inflation has kind of crushed that since then, but it kind of balances out a little bit. You put aside $100 a paycheck if you can. You can make your big trip. And in terms of savings, like there's always people selling cheap stuff and like loose figures. I mean, Arthur's table, again, just to bring him up, like, I mean, I got this guy for $5, you know, but he had tons and tons of loose, common, modern Japanese figures. And by that meaning, like, hey, Transformers United, which was different from the Legacy United. It was what Classics was called at one point in Japan. Like they had Transformers United stuff at like $10 a piece, like, deluxes. There was so much cheap stuff there if you really looked for it. So it's something that you just kind of you know, it's pretty crazy. So you could get a lot of good deals. I mean, look at me. Look at me. Look how much I bought. I really hyper like, I put all my eggs into this basket and then I got little cheapy things here and there, you know. Put it all in a suitcase. Thank you, officer. You know. Uh, let's see. Con crud, Clyde. I know exactly what you're talking about, Bruticus. It's always the con crud, and me who shakes a million hands, and all it takes is for one person to go, eh. Not that I suggest you do that to me, but that's all it takes, Snell World, I picked up that wheel jack instructions from the art. Oh, you were the one who picked up the wheel jack. Okay. I wonder if he would do a G1 Triptychon or G2 Gigastorm. Well, I mean, instructions wise, you'd have to find instructions of Gigastorm, which would be Beast Wars second, which, if I remember correctly, does use the clay paper. It does. Yes, it does. Because Lio Convoy, I've done papers with those. So if you get a Gigastorm, that should be fine. Unfortunately, G1 Triptychon uses that extremely almost paper mache G1 paper, which would be impossible to paint on. But if you take something that's of a comparable nature, maybe a Grimlock, and we could have fun with it, it's more a matter of finding instructions that would work with the painting. But G1 Triptychon, one you can't, unfortunately. If you've messed up, like the first 1984 instructions are good. They're good quality. They could be painted on, and all of the Transformer catalogs from G1 could be painted on. But instructions, that's where it's hit or miss. Some are the good clay quality paper, 85, 86, 87. Some of them, like Devastator's combiner paper. It's almost like paper mache. It's like really low quality. Like that would bleed right through and destroy it. So, and even all the modern paper. Wish I had an example here. Where's that Minerva box? The papers in it. Yeah, I'll use this one here if I could crack it open. One moment. Just to give you guys an example, if you guys ever want to do a commission with Aaron, how much I get this one for? See, this was the red cog. Again, I never pay full. 15, baby. 15 Canadian. So what is that, like $11 American? Never pay full, people. Never pay full. So the modern instruction paper is now like, again, it's a weird kind of cardboardy paper, and this doesn't work with paint and Posca. And then like this paper that's used for like the warning paper, this is almost like paper mache. This is what a lot of G1 paper was like back in the day. So like that would never work. Some work, again, 84, 85, 86, some of the older ones, but you really have to play it by ear because otherwise Aaron's going to paint on it and it's going to bleed right through, and almost falls apart in all honesty, you know. So you have to find good stuff. I know again the Beast Wars ones, Beast Wars Second, Beast Wars Neo, original Beast Wars. Those are good too. Those I can 100% guarantee because again, when we get them donated, I consolidate them and I know what's good and what isn't. So uh, T Formers to met a girl briefly at my Dallas layover and introduced her to the podcast. Hopefully, she's a new listener for you. Did you get her number for yourself? That's what you should have done, T Formers. Don't introduce her to my stuff. You should introduce her to you. Um, but very cool. Thank you. Guillaume, man, we are having great weather today. Yes, we are, Guillaume. This was the first day that I was saying to myself, maybe it's time to change back to summer tires and get a good car wash, take off all the salt off of the car. I'm definitely if it keeps up. But you know what? I've been tricked before. Last year we had April. We got screwed with that ice storm. So I'm not in a hurry to change the tires just yet. So, but again, you know, it was a fun weekend, and TFcon Toronto is going to be great. Got some stuff planned with that. Again, do not if you're going to be at Toronto, do not buy the Pokemon exclusive off of eBay. There's people that are scalping them. They buy it for like anytime someone says, "Hey, can I buy two?" I go, "Sure, no problem." I know what's happening. You know, I don't mind. Hey, you want to buy two? It's your money. I don't care, but I know what's happening. You know, it is what it is. So, oh, I was wearing sneakers today. I went grocery shopping today. I took one step outside. I walked right back in and put on my sneakers. You know, so we are back, baby. Montreal is back to good weather. Best city in the planet when it's not winter. When it's winter, get the hell out of here. Um, James, we're getting dusk and haze here in Michigan, but otherwise good day. Yeah, we're getting back to it, man. Think about it. We're almost in April. Back to some normalness. T Formers 2000, no, can't do that. She was apparently at the show too. Complicated my slag shirt. Oh, complimented your slag shirt. Oh, you had one of these slag pockets, or probably the one that's like similar to this one, or the box design one. I know we have two different ones. Hey, man, the show is awesome. I hope she enjoys it. You know, again, I hope she learns something from it. That's the most important thing. Learn something from the pod. Ashnud, I'm in Michigan. We always get one last snow in April. Well, that's my fear, Ashnud, is that like last year, people who were listening last year, we got hit here in Montreal with an ice storm. Protoman lost power for like 4 days, lost all the food in my fridge. Everything was finished, and literally had to ask Aaron Archer and Jaws D to let the public know that I'm still alive because I ended up not doing podcasts. And then I had to go to my parents's and do a live stream from there just to let people know I'm good. It's good stuff. Um, but yeah, craziness, craziness, craziness. Um, yeah, the ice storm of '98 in Montreal was absolutely crazy. That's the thing, you know, like I love this city. I love it to death. I'll never move. I'll never move. I've traveled all over Canada, all the key places in the United States, and I love places that I visited. I've been overseas, and there's just something about Montreal, man. There's just something about it culture-wise, food-wise, housing affordability, you know? Um, it's just one of those things that I never want to leave here. But when it's winter, you know, I wake up in the morning. There's a great clip that's circulating. It's me shoveling my driveway, and it's an old clip of me shoveling my driveway, and it's just me going like, "Oh God, what, why again? Wait, why do I love this place? Oh yeah, the summers, those 3 months of bliss, you know." So James remembers that live stream. Hey, you got to see the dogs. That was cool. All my parents is, you know, the house that I grew up in that has nothing but dogs and cats. So that was pretty cool. In my dad's record collection room. Ashton, we lost power today. Wind knocked out a transformer. Ain't that the truth? That happens a lot too. We're down for 3 hours. Ugh, that happens to me. What sucks is if I lose power in this room, because this transformer room, it's a basement. So if I lose power here, I am like, you can't even come in here. It's pitch black because I black out the windows. Like I try to keep it as cool as possible. Like there's windows in this basement, but I black them out. That way, no sun could penetrate. It's still legal. You could still escape through them if you need to, but they're blacked out so no sun could come in. That way, it's nice and cool in here, and no toys suffer from yellowing. Uh, Guillaume, the '98 ice storm. I was missing power for 3 weeks. It was insane. That's crazy, Guillaume. So for people that aren't aware, you can look this up. It's literally in Google. So Montreal and most of Northeast Canada got hit with a crazy ice storm. No joke. If this was like a twig from a tree, the ice was like the size of a hockey puck. It was so thick. There's great photos online that show it. And it was so insane. I was lucky because where my parents lived, it was like all these duplexes, like they're all like houses that are attached. We grew up in the ghetto. We didn't have a lot of money growing up. But the one good thing about these project duplexes that we lived in, um, the power lines weren't vulnerable to ice storms because they're like strapped to the side of the houses. So we didn't we lost power for like 2 hours, and it was more so for other reasons, like just from other things. So we had power almost that entire time. We had friends come over. We became like a hotel because people wanted to shower, they wanted to eat. So it was actually kind of fun, and we got to miss school for 3 weeks. So we missed exams, we missed school. It was great. And in 1998, Proto Man had the internet. He had his N64. His friends were coming over. We were playing Smash Brothers. We were going on the internet and watching episodes of stuff. It was good times. So I have nothing but happy memories of that ice storm, even though it was crazy. Twins Corner with the super chat. Thank you, Twins Corner, for the super chat. Sorry we couldn't be there, Proto. It's true, you weren't there. You were at Baltimore. Couldn't be there. We couldn't afford it. Well, it is. I will. I'll give you that. That's a even me. That's an expensive trip. Flight is probably when it's all said and done, $600, $700, and that's two people in your case. You know, so $600, $700. Hotel is probably like about 200 a night. So if you're staying the 3 days, that's $600. Entry to the con, I don't know. Um, I don't know what Colin asks in this day and age, but yeah, it could get pricey. It could get pricey. It's the best show of the year, so I still feel, in my opinion, it's worth it. And I feel that there's always, I call it the hack of how to save money, but I'll keep that to myself. For those who know in the chat, they know the TFcon hack, how to save money going to any TFcon, but it is what it is. We will definitely see you in Toronto. Any word on Cullen showing up then and Chicago? So right now, Cullen is not doing shows for the time being. He's been having some health issues. Nothing too major, but he does have some health issues. The thing is that, and I understand it, it's kind of the same thing that happened with Scott McNeil. And Scott McNeil, there's no health issues. Scotty's 100% crazy. It's just that Peter, for the first time, is like he's taking a rest where he was doing shows nonstop for like a good, like, I want to say 8 years. Like he was doing like 3, 4 shows a year. And I think only like the Big V kind of slowed that down. But even then, like I think in 2022, didn't he do Texas Comic Con or something when the Big V was still lingering in the background? So currently, right now, the official word is he's not doing shows. That could change. I mean, I don't make any promises for Toronto. Let's put it that way. Um, but it's something where I will say this: if he would have come, it would have been a West Coast show because that's kind of where he congregates. But we will see what happens. It's the same thing. Alan Oppenheimer, uh, not a young guy anymore. I love him. Super funny dude. His autograph that I have from him. If you read the autograph, it says, "You were first," because I was first in line. Oh, Butters, what do you want, Butters? You want to join us? Coming up. Up. Jump up. Come on, you lazy bum. There you go. So, you know, Alan Oppenheimer is another one of those. If you're not on the West Coast, you probably won't get a chance to see him because he's not traveling anymore. A lot of these guys, they get old, and it's just father time. And I mean, I'm a young dude and I hate flying, and it's a drag. I can only imagine how it is for them, you know. Ron Freeman, who just went through cancer treatment, he was there. He's a trooper, awesome human being. I love Ron, but it's something where I would totally understand if Ron doesn't want to travel for cons, you know, because an 80-year-old guy, an 85-year-old guy should not, to be on a plane. And not to mention, I mean, this is a little bit inside baseball, but when you get on an Airbus, like there's 747, 737, and then you got those big Airbuses. Those are the ones that have like 3 seats, then 8 seats in the middle, then 3 seats again. Those Airbuses, like the amount of pressure that they generate when they're landing could kill a person of a certain age group. Like they actually, when you get a plane, if they know you're over the age of 80, they don't even let you go on Airbuses anymore. So like, and I'm not a big aviation guy, but I remember hearing about that. And so like, it's something where you get to a certain age that even getting on a plane is a little sketch for you, you know, especially when you're that age. So it's something where it's tough. It's really, really tough. Um, hey, Butters, everyone's happy to see you, Butters. Look at this big fat boy. Big fat boy. Here. Butters, Butters, Butters. Up here. There you go. He got into a fight. He got into a fight with one of the other cats. Look at that. Look at that nick that he got there. Ah, they be fighting. You're getting all your hair on me, buddy. Um, where are we at? Where are we at? But yeah, it's a tough one. So it's something where, I mean, if I had to take a guess, and this isn't like gospel, but it's just me logically answering. I mean, look, he's what, 86 now, right? Am I right? What is he? 85, 86? Peter Cullen. He's in the West Coast. Uh his manager is in the West Coast, so it's something where if he will do a show in the future, logically it's probably going to be a West Coast show. Something where he doesn't have to stress himself. If he is going to see family in Montreal, then he might find himself in the East Coast and maybe he might come to a Toronto, let's say. But that's just kind of the way that I crunch that, so to speak. Ashton, yet my father-in-law is too old to do his military reunions. Yeah, it's specifically like if you, no joke, when you get a plane ticket, they ask you your age because they want to make sure you don't get put on an Airbus. And an Airbus is just those huge, massive planes. Because you don't realize it, but those big planes, when they go down for the landing, the going up in the air, totally fine. But when they're doing their approach for the landing, the pressure that that plane creates from the wing expansion, I remember they were explaining this, it's insane inside the cabin. And yeah, young people like us, a little bit, ears pop, you chew some gum, you're good. But for some people, it's like, "Ugh," and if you're someone with a weak heart, in the same way that certain people just they can't be put under for surgery because they're so old and they might not be able to come out of it. It's kind of one of those things. Not a doctor, not an aviation pilot, so don't take it for gospel, but this is what I've heard when it comes to getting guests and travel and the headaches that come with it. Because again, from experience with conventions and who could fly and who can't, that becomes a big issue. So Peter would have to be on like some kind of first class 747 flight from United. And then even then it's like, do you want to put a guy who's near 90, you know, just roll him out there just so you could get your GoBot action figure of Turbo signed? Yeah, he was the voice of Turbo. Um, you know, Turbo, and no, it was not Turbo. Who was he the voice of? I got his autograph for two characters. It's Turbo and Blaster, but not the Blaster that you're thinking. Or was it Tank? I think it's Tank. I always get like a I always get like an autograph that makes sense, like Optimus Prime, and then I get an autograph that's like, really, Proto? You got him to sign GoBot stuff? I think it was Tank. Yeah. Tank and one of the monster bots. And then one of the rock lords. Snell's World. I'm glad we got Peter's autograph last year at Fan Expo Knoxville. He loved his wife's watercolor Eeyore and just signed Missing Link Optimus. Very cool. Very cool. Missing Link Convoy. That's a really good figure. That figure was sold out that weekend. Uh, the guy who runs Sybiot Studios was looking to pick it up, and he couldn't find it because everyone bought them up that weekend. That was a very popular item. Uh, Ninjatron, you're sick. Ninjatron, you didn't even go to the show, and you're sick. Well, make sure you're not sick by the time Toronto rolls around. Make us all sick. Um, but yeah, again, so right now Peter's kind of indefinitely doing it, but again, I can't blame him. You know. Um, James, hey Proto, when did Aaron expand to Lego instruction art? Oh, Aaron's been doing Lego art, I'd have to say, for about 8, 9 months now. He'd do the odd one. He did some Star Wars ones. I think he did a Vanilla City one, and that one sold. Part of me is like, if I could find some junk Spyrius package art, or like a Spyrius, like if I could find an instruction catalog that have some Spyrius stuff, and I'd rip out that instruction. Like, cause I love Spyrius. I'm not a big Lego guy, but as a kid, I liked Spyrius because it was robots. And of course I like Bionicles because Bionicles is, it's Lego, but it's not Lego. I almost consider Bionicle more of a Gundam model kit than it is Lego. It's kind of a different animal. Um, Patrick Brown, this past summer, I met Christopher Lloyd, and he honestly felt like elder abuse. Well, it's kind of like what's happening with Stan Lee with that documentary coming out. He just sat there and signed, didn't say a word. It's very upsetting. He clearly didn't want to be there. Well, that's why I don't blame some of those guys. Like I feel like what happens is they get an agent that, like, Christopher Lloyd doesn't need the money. He could sit on that Back to the Future money and all the movies he's done throughout the years. But these agents, they only get a percentage. So they want money. And if they could roll out these people, what's amazing? So and you can look this up. So there's that Stan Lee documentary that's coming out, and they're all putting focus on that handler agent of Stan Lee that was mistreating him. And what's hilarious is you could look back on YouTube. There's a video of me meeting Stan Lee, and that same guy is in that video, and you could see that I give Stan the book to sign, and it's a cool thing because I did like a thing where it was Stan in the 1970s, pop collar, leisure suit, the hair, and then it's a picture of Stan today as it was back then. So it's like a before and after photo. And I wanted him to sign that. It wasn't anything special. It was a best of Stan Lee book. It had a picture of him before and after. It was a fancy. I just wanted him to sign that, not for value, just for something personal. I wanted him personalized to me, which shows it's not going on eBay. And I remember when I handed it to him, his handler was the one that's like, "Hey, check a look at it," and then kind of threw the pen at him. Like you could see, he just kind of throws the pen at Stan. And I never thought anything of it. Cause it's like, okay, whatever. I don't know the relationship between these two people. Maybe they ball bust each other. I never thought of any of that. And that video is on YouTube right now. It's called Proto Man Meets Stan Lee. You could find it right now. So that kind of gives a little bit of context now to that guy. And I don't know who that guy is. I've seen him at multiple shows in Montreal. He's a handler for a lot of those like older comic book creators, Chris Claremont, Frank Miller, Len Wein. I know I'm forgetting something. Len's no longer with us, but a few others. But it's just, you know, hindsight. It's heartbreaking. Yeah, Ashton, it's heartbreaking. You know, because those are dudes that created and made us happy and did all kinds of cool stuff. Butters, you okay? And and then you have these individuals that take advantage of them. You know what I mean? Talentless individuals that take advantage of them. You know, it's like, oh, here's my next meal ticket. You know what I mean? Like I could get some money off of this guy. It's like I guarantee, Stan, they charge like what? It was probably like at the time it was 90 for me, but probably like 120, 150 an autograph with a meet and greet or whatever. And you know that that guy is probably getting like 50% of that, and Stan has no clue. Not that Stan needs the money, but that's probably a big part of it. So it's a shame to see that kind of stuff. It really is. Me, I get to sit with talented people. I could look at the booth I was sitting at. Aaron's the super talented guy. Alex Milne to the right of me. Jack Lawrence to the left of me. You know, I almost don't even belong there. You know what I mean? So it's something where like you get a little bit of imposter syndrome sometimes, but at the same time, it's like, at no point I'm like taking advantage of these guys, where it's like, oh, I'm secretly getting a cut of Aaron's, art sales or something. Where guys like that, they're taking advantage of very talented people, and it's also like you said, elderly abuse too, where it's like they almost don't even know where they are. It's rough, man. T Formers 2002 says Alan Oppenheimer is definitely showing his age. I'm grateful that I finally met the man. Not sure how many shows he has left. Yeah, Alan, aka Skeletor, aka Sea Spray or Beachcomber. Sea Spray or Beachcomber. It's one or the other. Um, Super funny dude when I met him all those years ago. But yeah, it's father time. It's father time. I'm meeting Miko and I'm seeing that 16-year difference in father time with me. Imagine what Alan Oppenheimer and all those guys have been doing been doing the gamut for years, you know? Right, Butters? You old man too? Old man Butters? Also Warpath and Breakdown. There we go. I'm Proto Man's Wikipedia brain right now is out to lunch. Oh, he's off. He's off to get some food. He's had enough. But yeah, so it's something where here I'll be right back. I want to show you guys because it's funny. One moment. I was right. It's Beachcomber and Sea Spray, so I wasn't wrong. See, the Proto Man Wiki brain doesn't stop and breakdown. So there was all that's and I it's to Daniel. You were first, only because the show it was a TFcon show. I had to get back to my booth. So just before the doors would open for the public, he had arrived, and I was like, okay, if I just wait first in line, when 10 o'clock rolls around, I could be boom, get the autograph, nice to meet you, Alan, and then get back to my booth. And so that's just, it's all the memories. You were first. So, and I always like to do these. I keep little simple ones, put all their characters and everything. So very, very cool. And he was a cool dude. Cool dude. Most people are there for Skeletor. I think someone told me he was the one of the most expensive autographs that weekend. Like Frank Welker and him were like even. Him and Jim Cummings, Darkwing Duck, was also really expensive that weekend, and rightfully so. I mean, when you grow a library of those characters that are super iconic, yo, get your money, man. Get your money. You know, if you're, I think they're worth that. You know, I didn't hesitate with Jeff Bennett. Man, that's Johnny Bravo to me. Yeah, okay, he's Prowl from Animated and all that stuff. That's great too. But Johnny Bravo is a big deal to me. I love that. Love that stuff. So, Jim Cummings and Allen were both 80, so they were equal to Frank Welker almost. Wow. Jeez. Wow, there you go. So even though Frank had the closed signing, the other guys were just as much. Well, again, Jim Cummings, look at his library. Just the Disney afternoon stuff. If you're a '90s kid, is enough right there, and all that Disney stuff. And Alan again, Skeletor. I mean, that's like if Frank Welker in the other room being G1 Megatron is a big deal, why can't the Megatron of He-Man be just as important? It's like if we had Chris Latta there for Starscream, but more so Cobra Commander. Rest in peace, Chris. Talib, I did the photo op meet and greet with Stanley in Cincinnati Comic Con around 9 years ago. Kind of had a weird feeling that way. The line was rushed. Well, again, think about it, Talib. That same guy would have been there because when I met Stan, gosh, we'll have to go back and look when that video was on YouTube, but it had to be more than 10 years ago for sure, you know, for sure. But yeah, it is what it is. Oh man, Chris Latta. If you know what, the closest we will ever have to Mr. Latta, let me grab the old archive book here, was, of course, we'll never get Chris Latta at a Transformer convention. But one thing that BotCon did, which was very, very cool, that's why, I hate it when people bash BotCon because BotCon will always be awesome. Chris Latta's daughter did BotCon. What was her name? Abby. She did BotCon and she was the voice of Minerva. And so she was doing autographs. So I got her autograph on a Minerva trading card from BotCon back in the day. So very, very cool. Very, very cool. And then here's Proto Man with hair back in the day, the BotCon trading cards. Oh, those were the days. Those were the days. Those were the days. Those were the days. Abby Collins, Chris Latta's daughter. Yeah. Michael Butcher, what's up, my man? What's up? What's up? Yeah, Melindy too was there. Melindy I met multiple times. She did a lot of the early TF cons and BotCons back in the day. So, because she was Ariel, not Alita one, but Ariel. She was a few other stuff too. So, but I mean, she's Shira. Enough said right there. You know. Uh, Michael, great to meet you at TFcon Proto. Thank you, Michael. Nice to meet you too, man. Matt, like, you know what? Like, I wish I had more time to hang out with you guys. That was the one thing that sucked that weekend. Like, one thing I miss about BotCons were like 4 days. TFCon feels like two. And thanks for the You know what? I'm happy you like the Pokemon cards. I'm happy about that. So for context for people, what I wanted to do special with the God, I don't have the exclusive nearby, but what I wanted to do special with the where's the damn slide? There we go. What I wanted to do special with those is I included with them you get two Pokemon cards randomly. What I did is I bought from a local who obviously was just scalping Pokemon cards, but he was selling bulk, like just commons and uncommons for like really cheap. So I bought a bunch of them and then I packed them for free with the exclusives. You get two random cards. And yeah. So I thought it'd be fun. And then what I would do is if a little kid came and bought something, I'd also let them get some extra cards too. Get yourself a Jolteon or whatever they wanted. Yeah. So something, and I'm going to do the same thing for Toronto. So if you missed out, these will also be at Toronto. I'll make some new packages of those. Again, I'm probably going to do 20, 25 max because it's Toronto, so it's a smaller show. We had 50 at LA. We only have 5 left, or I think 5 or 4. I have to count. I think we have 4 left. So I'm going to make like another like 15 or 20 of them, and that'll be it. That will be it. And then we're going to retire that. And then next one that we're working on, I literally have the prototype right here in my hand, but I can't show you guys. I have the prototype right here for next year, and it's going to be some good stuff. So stay tuned for that. Not anytime soon, but stay tuned for that. Production is always 6 to 8 months in advance. It's a whole thing. So, but stay tuned for that one. Some good stuff. You should have signed them. Not going to bother with that. If people ask for a signature, I'll do it. The only thing that I signed this weekend was people were coming to Aaron. So because I'm going to cover his info here, because Marty was there that weekend, people were bringing Marty the Allspark Almanac to sign. And then they would bring the Allspark Almanac to Aaron to sign the Angry Archer. And then they'd bring the Allspark Almanac to me, and I would sign the Rodimus page. For people who know, Rodimus is attire, shape, style, and flames. Go check the TF Wiki for more info on that. I won't toot my own horn. Let that be Derek Wyatt's own words of that one. But needless to say, so I was signing the Rodimus pages that weekend. I had a red marker just for that. So that was pretty much the only reason why I was signing autographs that weekend. So, um, Horned Owl Proto, I know it's still ways away, but do you think there will be do you think you will be at TFcon Chicago? I would have to say 95% yes. It's ridiculously closer. It's a 2-hour flight. It's not expensive. If I lived in Toronto, it's a 5-hour drive. It's a 10-hour drive from Montreal. It's a 5-hour drive from Toronto. So I'd say 95% yes. There's a better chance of me being at Chicago than there would have been LA. LA would have been more 50-50. Chicago's a lot more possible, for sure. It's not the better show. I'm going to be straight up. LA is always the better one, but Chicago's just as fine too. I think it's at the Charlotte location again, correct? I didn't check. I know Colin moves it around sometimes. It's in Charlotte, it's in Chicago. Like they call it Chicago, but someone will have to correct me on that one. But that one's much more of a, like, TFcon Toronto, 100% I'll always be there. Like I walk out my front door, it's a 4-hour drive. You know what I mean? If I'm not there, I'm an idiot. Like there's no reason for me to skip Toronto. Chicago is more just, that 5% is more if something happens, something financially or whatever happens. I can't do the show. Ashtud, that was my Dairy Con can bootleg. That way Dairy Con can't bootleg it. Well, Dairy Con broke my heart bootlegging my stuff, but whatever. Whatever. That's a fight I'm not going to bother with. Bigum, just booked my hotel and tickets for Chicago. Best to get it done now. That way you don't have to worry about it later. And always with the hotel, if you book it now, you don't have to worry about it selling out too, the block. So that's always been a headache with me too. Where are we at? Bigum says it's an hour drive away. Well, there you go. Exactly. When it's really close too, you know. Snell World, Samantha Newmark, the voice actress of G1 Ariel and Gem. There you go. Excuse me. Got that mixed up. I probably got her autograph at GemCon then, maybe. I don't know. I have to look at the wall. I have like again, all of these, I have like a wall. It's a giant wall that's just all the G1 voice actors and all the Beast Wars voice actors. I try to like fit them all together. And then all the voice actors that I get that are not part of that, they're all in a folder. Because again, I don't want to waste too many walls, you know. Yes, Bumper Robinson is confirmed for Toronto, and Bumper Robinson is one of those tough autographs to get. So I heavily suggest if you do get a chance, get it. Because just between you and me, I'm not going to name names, but the people who were working with Bumper said he was kind of about doing shows. And he's kind of like, So get him while you can, because he did his first con in 2008. He hated it, and he didn't do shows for a while. Now he's back, and I think he's slowly reminding himself why he stopped doing cons. So if you get your chance, get your chance. Let's put it that way. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say who said it, but yeah. T-Formers 2002. If BotCon is in Fort Wayne again, it's a no-brainer for me. Even just for the day, it's now right. Man, see, like I would love to go to that BotCon new, but it's just like I asked Aaron, and it's like, how big is it? Like, well, T-Formers, you've been to it before. Would you say it's like TFcon Toronto or smaller? Because then that entices me. Like, is there opportunities, because like my logic is I pay for the flight, I get there. If I could make enough money to pay for my flight back. You know what I mean? It's at least worth it for me. I don't like being in the red. That's how I always am. So, like when people buy the exclusives from me, it's paying for flights. That's literally it, you know? It's paying for flights, it's paying for all my expenses just to be there. That way I don't want to be one of those guys. I'm going to start a Kickstarter, get Proto Man to TFcon or BotCon. No, I have my own ways. I'll figure out something. Same thing with the Patreon. That helps. That pays for food and everything. It's the best way to go about it. Clyde, yeah, Bumper was very grumpy in 2000. Oh, God, don't even. 2008. You know what? Goober, are you in the chat? Goober, who's in the chat, I feel Goober was the one that broke him. But it wasn't just Goober. It was a lot. Like he's not into the pop culture. He's not into the pop culture vibe scene. He's just not into that. He's an actor that just happened to voice act a character that's iconic, so it just kind of, and he's just, and that's fine. That's fine. But, if you're going to show up, take advantage of that. Let's put it this way. See, that's what Aaron told me. TFcon, definitely smaller than TFcon Toronto, but it gets legs, so I'm pretty sure it grows bigger it's because I would love to go, but it's something where, and this is how here's how Proto Man's brain works. It's like if it's a show that has only 500 people, like attendance 500 people, how many exclusives can I make in time that I could sell at the show that will pay for all my expenses that weekend? If I get 10% of the attendance, it's tough. So like that's why when people buy a little, red and blue Pokemon thing, that goes towards food. That goes towards the air flight. That goes towards all that stuff. Snell World, do you have a favorite knockoff Transformer? Ooh, that's a good one. I have a few actually. One of my favorites is called Clever Evil Dog. That's literally the name of it. Bloodthirsty War Dolphin. I did reviews of both of those many years ago on YouTube. You could find them. There's this great bootleg of a basketball that transforms into Yao Ming, the basketball player. These are all Chinese bootlegs, by the way. I have a Transformer bootleg that transforms into a rice cooker, like a Japanese style Tiger brand rice cooker. There's a lot of weird ones. My Thomas the Tank Engine bootleg, that's a combiner. I could go on and on. I love bootlegs. They're short run, they're weird, they have no rules. I have Angry Bird bootlegs. Before they did the official Angry Bird Transformers, they did Angry Bird Transformer bootlegs, which it was like the Angry Bird heads, and they would open up and make robots. My Super Mario bootleg. Do I have the carded one nearby, or is it in the video game room? No, I have it nearby somewhere. I think it's in the video game room. I have a Super Mario watch that transforms into Super Mario, and then it has like a button you could push on it. It projects slides of Super Mario stock art. I could go on and on. There's so many wacky ones. I'm forgetting more than I'm remembering. You got me when I'm tired, but so many. Clyde, I thanked him for his great work with Bumblebee, and he went meh and walked away from it. Jeez, really? Oh God. See, that's again, when I met him in 2008, he was good with me. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just the way I present myself. Maybe I look, I don't know. I don't know. He was good with me. When Goober met him, because Goober was with me, who's in the chat today. I don't know if Goober's still in the chat, but Goober made him do like some like rap pose or something. And maybe that already kind of pushed him off the edge. But I feel if you had to pinpoint the moment when he like checked out was his panel. He did a panel with David Kay, who's obviously at the time animated Optimus Prime, and Tara Strong, who was the voice of Sorry. So it was just the three of them doing a panel together. And I remember like, people would come up to ask questions, and then you'd always once in a while you'd have someone go, hey, Mr. K, could you do, Beast Wars Megatron like ordering food from McDonald's? And you get silly stuff like that once in a while, right? and David Kay placated the guy, and Tara Strong played, and you could see Bumper. Bumper was just like he was just like, really, like, oh, okay, like, and it was they had a great time. Tara Strong's part of the My Little Pony community. She does My Little, so she's used to crazy. You know what I mean? So, and David Kay is a veteran of Transformers, going all the way back to 1995. So a Bumper was the odd man out. And I think after he did that show, everyone knows this story. He was on BET, Black Entertainment Television, like I think a week after that. And they were like, oh, you just, he was doing an interview because I think he was in a movie. He did a live action movie of something. And then they were talking to him like, oh, we just heard you came back from a Comic-Con. That's what they called it, right? And then he's like, yeah, I just came back from, man, that was a weird experience. I don't think I'll ever do something like that again. And he didn't for like 16 years. He just avoided conventions completely. So, and now I hear your story and it adds to that. So once again, guys, if you're at TFcon Toronto, get his autograph because I don't know if you'll ever get another chance to. If you're like a completist, you know, get your autograph if you can because he's not a happy camper, so to speak. Not a happy camper. Um, and again, it's a shame because like I'm sure tons of people would have killed to have that Bumblebee audition. You know, that should have been. You know what? Could have just got Scotty. Get Scott McNeil to do Bumblebee. He would have crushed it. You know, and Scott McNeil would have done it with a smile. I love that human being. Scott. People always ask me like, who's the greatest voice actor of all time? I always say David Kay, in my opinion, is probably the best voice actor of all time. But Scott McNeil is like right behind him. Scotty is just a gem of a human being. He is so cool. Gary Chalk is there. It's those Beast Wars guys. Those Beast Wars guys, before they were doing Beast Wars, they were all doing anime voices. They were all the Ocean Group, Dragon Ball in 1995, and before that, Dragon Ball Z in 95, Dragon Ball in 94. Going back to doing Rama one half dubs. David Kay was, Dr. Tofu. No, David Kay was Akane's father. Scott McNeil was some of the other characters. Venus was Rama female. Gary Chalk was all the incidental characters. Like those guys were in the trenches back in the day, so they're all like seasoned pros, but also amazing human beings. And those guys, whenever you see them, even if you got their autograph, just go by and say hi and just let them know how amazing they are. You know, amazing dudes. Proto Man, what's for dinner? According to Patrick, I don't know, really, Patrick. I don't know. I was going to have like just, I don't know, the past few days I've just been having like soup because I've just been kind of under the weather a little bit. Usually what I do is I have like a chicken noodle soup. I cut carrots into it and I boil it all, you know. Um, so it's something where I probably would just have something like that. Maybe some grapes I'll have on the side, get some vitamin C and sugar, some fructose just to amp me up a little bit with cheese, grapes and cheese. Get some Gouda. I don't know, I'll see how I feel. I bought a bunch of stuff today from Costco, but nothing that I'm going to have now. Broccoli and everything and eggs, I'll have that all tomorrow. Yeah, Gary Chalk's the best. Gary, again, it's on YouTube. Type like Gary Chalk TFcon guitar. Like just type those 3 words. Gary Chalk would hang out at the bar and play live guitar, and Butters is back, and would play live guitar for everybody. Come on up, boy. You know? And he's just an awesome human being. And right now he's going through some tough health times. I'm sending all the positive vibes to him. He's an awesome human being, you know. And he's a strong guy, so he'll kick it, you know. He'll kick it, you know. Hey, Gary Chalk, you want a fun fact? Gary Chalk was the voice of Larry Bird, the famous basketball player, in the Captain N and the Game Masters Jordan versus Bird episode. So Gary Chalk has done a lot of cool stuff throughout the years. He's Gutsman from Mega Man. So from my Mega Man world, he's that. Scotty, of course, is Proto Man. So Love it. Love it all. Yeah, Gary's going through some tough times right now, but he's a winner, man. He's a winner. He'll defeat it. If there's someone that I feel will be able to do it, it's Gary. Oof, cat hair everywhere. Yeah. Is he coming back to? I can't speak for Gary. Gary right now is again. He's going through his health scare. So I am not going to speak for the man, but he does have a Facebook page where he actually has been keeping everyone updated on his cancer journey. So if you're curious what's happening with Gary, or you just want to send him positive words, which that's what I've been using it for, you know, go check out his Facebook page. He has two of them. He has a fan page and then he has his actual one. It's a little heart wrenching, I will admit, but man, Gary's an awesome dude. All of those Beast Wars guys, all of them. Lee Tokar is awesome. Venus is awesome. Um, what's it called? Blue Man Kuma, he's awesome. Oh, what's his name? Tarantulas. He's the coolest 90-year-old you'll ever meet in your entire life. Oh my God, what's his name? Someone please in the chat, because right now the brain's not working. Uh Tarantulas. Gosh. But oh my God, he dresses like he's 20 years old. Like he is the coolest guy like 90-year-old I've ever met in my entire life. We all went out to dinner. He was wearing something like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Alex Willows. Thank you guys. Thank you, Autovolt, T Formers. Yeah, he's an old dude, but he is so cool. Like he is he I remember we all went out to eat, so we all were like going to meet at the lobby before we were going to go to the German restaurant, and he was wearing something like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air would have worn in the 90s. And I was like, "What? There's got to be photos online of this. There's got to be." You know? He is such a cool dude. All of them. All of those Beast Wars guys. It's not just a bias because I love Beast Wars. There's just something about that crew of the Ocean Group people. Don Brown, I could add to that. You know, what's his name there? The voice of Pterosaur. I got to meet him at TFcon. He was also a voice director. All of those guys, super cool. Super. I don't know. Maybe because they're Canadian, most of them. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased there too. But just something about them, man. Something about them. Like they're just all really cool dudes. Bakon 2006, great actors attending that show. Yeah, Doug Parker is by the way Pterosaur. Thank you, Autovolt. I think 2006 was a Beast Wars year, and I think Bakon. I didn't go to the Bakon, but 95, no 96 or 97, they had a huge gathering of all of them too. The only difficult uh, Beast Wars guy to get is Ian Corlett, Cheetor, because he's kind of like Frank, where it's like, I don't really like doing conventions, but money, So, but Ian wasn't terrible. I got to meet him, got some Mega Man autographs, got some Beast Wars autographs. He was respectful. He was cool. He took the time to talk. He didn't just have his head down and here you go, kid, get out of here. you know. And trust me, I've had in all my years of getting hundreds of autographs, I've had a few of those. Here, kid, get out of here situations. Some of them that I got in trouble with because I talked badly of them. It's like, you can't talk badly of the dead. Hey, man, if a guy's a dick, he's a dick. Richard Newman. I sat next to Richard Newman for 9 hours at a TFCon because his handler couldn't make it, so they needed someone to sit with him. Richard Newman is a cool as F human being. Oh my goodness. He almost doesn't even want to take money for his autograph. That's how cool he was. He felt bad, you know? He was a really cool dude. And he's the voice of Bison from Street Fighter, Richard Newman, aside from Rhinox. Like there's all those interconnected Capcom anime stuff. He did a lot of anime voices, Richard Newman. You could hear that Rhinox voice everywhere, you know? But all those guys, I could go on and on. I forget more than I remember, you know? Butters, what are you doing? What are you doing, Butters? Just thwacking around, aren't you? Um, they're all great guys. They're all great dudes. I wish nothing but the best for them. You know, all the good and happiness that they've brought to so many people. I only wish that they get the same for themselves, you know? And Scotty above them all, just because Scotty is always hanging out with the fans. He's smoking, he's drinking, he's running around, he's signing the walls, even though he's technically not supposed to do that. You know, he's like running around the hotel signing. He's out of his mind, Scotty, but I love him. I love Scotty. He's crazy. Scotty was probably one of the first autographs I ever got, actually, when I think about it. Like in terms of like of the Transformer cast, I think he was one of the very first autographs I ever got. Like I've gotten autographs before that, but it was more comic book people. But I think of Transformers, he was probably the first. And if I showed you the photo of me with Scott McNeil when I got that autograph back in 1999, it looks like a completely different human being. Both of us. Father Time has been cruel to both me and Scotty. You wouldn't even, if I showed you that picture of Scott McNeil, you wouldn't even guess it's Scott McNeil. You'd be like, who is that guy? And Protoman, you'd be like, who is that guy? Who's that guy with all that hair? You know? T-Formers 2002 had a blast last week talking to David Sobolov. David Sobolov's a cool dude too. I only met him like once quickly at a BotCon back in the day, and this is when Transformers Prime was on the air, so he was signing for Shockwave. But I only talked to him for a brief moment, but you know, he was a cool dude too. Cool dude too. Just I didn't get to talk to him that often, you know. Um, I mean, Scott didn't really become the Scott we know physically till 2004. Is that when he discovered the cowboy hat? Is that when that happened? When he discovered the cowboy hat that never left his head ever since? You know, my Scott McNeil had really short hair, spiked with gel, and a circle goatee, no beard. It's so weird. It doesn't even look like him. Does not even look like him. It's crazy. But yeah, there, Clyde, Scott McNeil and his cowboy hat. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like there was a point, I want to say like around 2005, that he discovered that cowboy hat, and then it's like it's someone like glued it to his head, and it never left ever since. You know, never left ever since. But he's just, if you know Scott, you know, like we had a room party many years ago, and one of my roommates had he brought a margarita machine to our room, and Scott came and joined us, and we all just hung out and stuff. Super cool dude. Super cool dude. But all of those Beast Wars guys, they're salts of the earth. Let me tell you, they're just the greatest. Even Venus. Venus is incredible. Venus is from Montreal, so I have a little bit of a bias there, but Venus was from Montreal. Richard Newman lived in Montreal most of his life. Again, they're all Canadians, so the crossover is palatable to say the least. But yeah, good stuff. Link CW, you're late, and we're done. Oh, we're actually done now. Oh my goodness, we're done today. You know, Venus is so lovely. Venus, another one that didn't age. Venus, it's like barely aged. There's something. I think she's Native American or something. There's something in her that preserves her forever. Maybe she's like half Asian or something. She also she looked exactly the same when I met her. I think it was BotCon 2002. She looked exactly the same like when she was at TFcon 2 years ago. She did a TFcon like 2 years ago or something in Toronto. She looked exactly the same. Like she didn't age a day. So there's some kind of secret to Venus. Some kind of secret going on there. Mm. Well, yeah, Terezo, it's true. She would be Greek. There's something there. Maybe it's the Greek oils, the Greek olive oil. I don't know. Something going on. There's a secret there that Venus needs to share. But yeah. Anyways, guys, we're done for the evening. We had a good 2 hours of talking. I am burnt out. I'm hopefully gonna to heal up. Oh boy, the voice of Devastator. Arthur. We will not talk about Arthur today. If you know, you know. Good old Arthur. But guys, we're going to call it quits today. Again, thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the love and support. Butters is tired too. We're going to call it quits today. Again, thank you all who came by TFcon, supported the podcast, picked up some merch. wore some TFcon, some Transformer Slag podcast t-shirts. All you guys that wore the t-shirts. One big regret that I had is I wanted on the Friday to get everyone who had Slag t-shirts all together for a group photo. And then I realized I had a 4 a.m. flight. So I was like, gosh, maybe we'll do it at Toronto. Anyone who has a Transformer Slag podcast t-shirt, you could buy them off of Teespring. I don't even know where they are. They're somewhere. I'm very good at marketing myself. I only advertise it when the shirts are on sale because I want people to save money, even on my own merch. But anyways, I'll see you guys. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to sleep. This cat is tired too, eh? Hey boy. We're gonna go to bed. Thanks for all the love and support, guys. If you want to support the podcast, again, the best way is Patreon. There's a link in the description or whatever. Come join the Patreon, or you could join the YouTube membership. Those are the beautiful green names that we have here. I'll see you all next week. I'll be doing my Monday to Friday segments. Take care, and as always, roll out.